Matas Buzelis is about to shock the NBA, and the Chicago Bulls are at the center of it all. Imagine a young player with the size, skill, and basketball IQ to completely change the game for the Bulls. This kid isn't just another prospect, he's a future star waiting to explode on the NBA stage. In today's video, we're diving into why Matas Buzelis could be the next big thing for the Bulls and how he might just be the player to lead them into a new era of success. You do not want to miss this. If you are a true American and proud of it, show your support by hitting that subscribe button. Let's start together, keep the spirit alive. What's up, Bulls Nation? Welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited about today's video because we're diving into a name that's been buzzing around the basketball world and has huge potential to be a future star for the Chicago Bulls, Matas Buzelis. I'm talking about a player who could shock the NBA in a way no one sees coming. Whether you're a casual fan of the game or a hardcore Bulls supporter, trust me, you're going to want to pay close attention to this one. Before we dive deep into why Matas is going to make such an impact, let's get a quick rundown of who this guy is and how he got to where he is today. Matas Buzelis, originally from Lithuania, was born into a basketball culture. Lithuania is known for producing some of the best basketball players in the world, with the likes of Jonas Valanciunas, Domantas Sabonis, and Linas Kleiza leading the way. Growing up in this environment, Buzelis was always around the game, and it didn't take long for his natural talents to catch the eyes of scouts. Standing at 6'9", Buzelis has the frame to compete at the highest levels of basketball. But what sets him apart from other players of his size is his incredible versatility. This isn't just a forward who can dunk and block shots. Buzelis has the ball-handling skills of a guard and the court vision to match. His ability to play both on the ball and off the ball gives him a unique edge. He's a player who can score in multiple ways, whether it's hitting from deep, driving to the basket, or pulling up for a mid-range jumper. He's also a great passer, with a high basketball IQ that allows him to read the game and make decisions quickly. Now, Matas made a name for himself in the U.S., playing for Prolific Prep, one of the top high school basketball programs in California. And let me tell you, it didn't take long for Matas to make a statement on the national stage. He was quickly regarded as one of the top recruits in the country, drawing attention from college programs and NBA scouts alike. He was more than just a standout in high school, he became a player that the entire basketball world had to keep an eye on. It wasn't just his play in high school that got people talking. Buzelis made waves internationally, representing Lithuania on the world stage. Competing against older, more experienced players in international tournaments, he proved that he could hold his own against professionals. This is an experience that a lot of American prospects don't get, and it helped mold Matas into a more well-rounded player. You have to remember that Lithuania is a country where basketball is king, and to be a top-tier player coming out of Lithuania is a big deal. Matas' performances overseas only added to his allure as one of the brightest prospects in basketball. So, when you look at his skill set, his IQ, and his international pedigree, it's no wonder why the Chicago Bulls were so eager to pick him up. The Bulls are in an interesting position right now, trying to find their way back into contention after a period of rebuilding. They have established stars like Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic, but what they've been lacking is a player who can complement those stars and provide versatility on both ends of the floor. This is where Matas Buzelis comes in. The Bulls had a very clear need for a player like Matas. Their current roster has a lot of scoring firepower, but the team was still missing someone who could play a bigger role in distributing the ball and contributing to the defense, especially in a playoff race. That's exactly what Matas offers. He's not just a scorer, he's someone who can create for his teammates, make the right play when the ball is in his hands, and take on defensive assignments against bigger and quicker players. Think about how the Chicago Bulls offense could change with Matas Buzelis on the floor. For one, his presence will spread the floor and open up more space for other players like LaVine and DeRozan to operate. Matas can hit the three, but he can also attack the rim and finish over defenders. His ability to be a secondary ball handler also gives the Bulls the flexibility to rest LaVine or DeRozan and still have someone who can run the offense efficiently. Whether he's running pick and rolls or just creating plays on the fly, Matas can keep the offense moving at a high pace. What really sets Matas apart is his defensive potential. He is not just a spot-up shooter or an offensive weapon, he's a two-way player. With his size and agility, he's a matchup nightmare for opposing wings and forwards. He's long enough to contest shots, but also quick enough to stay in front of smaller, faster players. This is a guy who can guard multiple positions and really impact a game with his defense. Think about how valuable that is for the Bulls, especially when you look at their long-term playoff aspirations. In today's NBA, you need players who can do it all, and Matas Buzelis is exactly that. But where does Matas truly excel? His basketball IQ is off the charts. I'm not just talking about knowing where to be on the floor. I'm talking about his ability to read the game. He can anticipate plays, see passing lanes, and understand defensive schemes before they even happen. It's not often you see that level of court awareness from a player so young, and that's going to allow him to make an immediate impact. His shooting ability, though, is what really makes him such an exciting player. Matas has a smooth shooting stroke, whether it's from three-point range or pulling up in the mid-range. His shooting mechanics are sound, and his confidence with the ball in his hands will allow him to score at will when needed. This is exactly what the Bulls have needed to take their offense to the next level. With Matas on the floor, defenders will have to pick their poison. Do they focus on stopping him from hitting the three, or do they dare let him drive to the rim? Let's talk about what's next. Right now, Matas is still developing, but what we've seen so far tells us one thing: this kid's potential is limitless. He could very well be a future all-star in this league, and he's got the tools to eventually become one of the best players in the NBA. Of course, there will be hurdles to overcome. Adjusting to the NBA's speed and physicality won't be easy. But I believe that with the right development and the right teammates around him, Matas Buzelis could very well become a cornerstone for the Chicago Bulls for years to come. Now, looking at the bigger picture, Matas is the kind of player who could make the Bulls relevant again on a national level. With his combination of skill, IQ, and athleticism, he could take the team from a fringe playoff contender to a serious threat in the Eastern Conference. He's the kind of player who can change the trajectory of a franchise, and the Bulls are lucky to have him. But we're not just talking about a guy who's going to be a role player off the bench. Matas has starter potential, and depending on how his development unfolds, we could see him in the starting lineup alongside LaVine, DeRozan, and Vucevic sooner than later. And when that happens, the Chicago Bulls will have a lineup that could rival any team in the NBA. The Bulls have to build around Matas in the right way. This isn't a guy you put in a corner and expect to just fit in. He's a player who needs to be used in various ways. Give him the ball and let him create, let him defend, and let him be a true contributor. The right system and coaching staff will be key to unlocking his full potential. If the Bulls get this right, they're looking at a future where Matas Buzelis is one of the stars leading them into the playoffs year after year. So, when you look at Matas Buzelis, think of him as a diamond in the rough, a player who's already on the radar but still has so much more room to grow. With a little more polish and experience, he's going to shock the NBA in ways no one expects. Bulls fans, I truly believe that this kid is special, and he might just be the future of this franchise. What do you think? Could Matas Buzelis be the next big thing for the Chicago Bulls? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you think the Bulls are on the right track with this young star? And, of course, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth analysis, news, and updates about all things Chicago Bulls. Thanks for watching, Bulls Nation. Let's go Bulls!